There's a place along Highway 395 that has always been very special to me. A place where I was first introduced to the outdoors, where camping and fishing became more than just activities, became memories. Mornings were waking early, getting on the river, sometimes even out fishing my dad. Afternoons were filled with exploration, and evenings settled around a campfire, watching the stars appear as bats fluttered out from the caves across the way. As a child, I often wondered what was on the other side of those cliffs that rose across the river. They were a mystery. I could only dream from the campfire's glow. Now, as an adult, it's time to go deeper, to explore those hidden places, climb beyond what once only imagined, and to discover everything this land has to offer. I hope you'll join me. We explore what we're going to call the Walker High Country.
Good morning. Been doing some fishing. I'm parked just off the 395, just south of a little town called Walker. A spot that I've been fishing it since I was probably 7 or 8, maybe even before that. I learned how to fish here between my dad and an old guy named Dutch. He used to have a big red Bel Air wagon, and he'd tow a red and white trailer behind him and park up in here. We called the area Dutch Flats. The space has been changed a lot by a flood that came down this canyon a while back. Wiped out a lot of history, but this one spot remains. And where this truck is parked, I actually grew up getting in and out of a red and white camper that was on the back of a yellow Chevy Silverado long bed 4x4. With black steel wheels. Eventually we progressed into a motorhome. We had to come in through one end or the other, but now there's only one entrance in and out of here. And it's not really a campground anymore. It's been marked no camper for a long time, but I still like to come here and fish. Very connected with my family, even though they're long gone. Anyway, I'm going to put my fishing gear away, and maybe we'll go do some exploring. Finished airing down. We're getting on dirt now, probably for the rest of today, maybe even into tomorrow. Depends on what all I'm able to connect back here. But there's a good chance it's going to be a hot minute before we have to look at asphalt again. That's exciting. So basically, the canyon that we were just in fishing is right over here. You may be able to see it, you may not. some of that footage that I shot with the drone came up and over the ridge behind the river, and that's going to put us onto this road here that's going up the canyon on the top side. It goes out quite a ways, and eventually there's a couple different dog legs to get off onto a couple different passes, and or there's a mountain lake at around 12,000 feet. So we'll see what we get into. I'm pretty excited about it. I'm going to try and do something different. I might try and shoot a little bit more with the drone while we're moving. You know, like use the drone, drive by, use the drone. But we'll see. We'll see how that goes. If not, I'll keep running around setting up the tripod. So I will see you guys on the trail, and let's get it.
Pulling out onto the big, well-groomed dirt road, the desert stretches out in every direction, wide and unbroken. The road will carry us along the backside of those cliffs I spent so many nights as a child looking up at, wondering what was hidden beyond them. Now, after all these years, I'm finally satisfied those childhood curiosities. The journey has been a long time coming. More than exploration, it feels like a step towards healing old wounds, towards seeing those familiar landscapes with new eyes. Out here, surrounded by sage and stone, the past and present overlap, with childhood nights blending with the ones I'm creating now. As the miles pass, the desert begins to shift. The sage thins, the air cools, and the first scattered trees begin to appear. The road carries us higher, trading open desert for the shelter of pines, their shade casting a different kind of light across the trail. It's transitional. It feels both natural and symbolic. Climb from memory into moment, from the wide openness of the past into the calm shelter of what's ahead.
All right, so we're continuing to climb. We came out of that kind of high desert around 4,000 feet. We're currently up around just shy of 7,500 feet in elevation. Noticed some big changes with pine trees, a bunch of white chalk style, like almost rock, which is kind of interesting. And we got to this one campsite that I've stayed at before, and it's kind of interesting. Somebody's actually, it looks almost like somebody's mowed the lawn. But let me show you what I'm talking about. Come off the rocky trail behind me, and when you turn around, you pull into this nice small little meadow almost. But as you can see, the grass is all knocked down. I've been here before when the grass was all 4 to 6 inches tall. And there used to be a big fire pit back there. The trail goes on back just a little bit and then it dead ends, but it's a really nice level place up in the sage and pines. Yeah, absolutely beautiful. It's currently about maybe 84 degrees, 82, 84 degrees. So sun's pretty intense. I'm gonna get back in the truck here and get going. It was far too early to settle in. The sun was still climbing towards its high point in the sky. The road ahead promised much more to explore. With every mile, the landscape shifted. What began as an endless carpet of sage slowly gave way to scattered stands of juniper and pine, each bend in the trail revealing something new, something exciting, something continually more amazing. The fragrances carried on the wind were nothing short of a gift. Clean, sharp, and earthy, they reached back into the memory, pulling me into another time and another place. And the scent of pine needles and desert sage meant freedom, curiosity, and yes, even possibility. It is here that our journey takes a turn. The road begins to climb again, winding towards an aspen grove perched high above our starting point. The shift is immediate. Suddenly we're surrounded by the bright shimmer of green leaves, the sound of water trickling across the rocks, and the welcome sight of a creek cutting through the grove. For a short while, the trail becomes alive with running water, cool shade, even a splash through a crossing before releasing us once again, this time into the wide open expanse of alpine-like tundra. Right around the corner, we'll find another surprise. Alright, so I got way up this road and I come across a man-made reservoir, at just under 10,000 feet. I don't know the name. I'd have to look it up. I was going to fly a drone and show you how cool it is, but there's a number of helicopters that are coming, and they keep grabbing water out of it. And I just don't think it would be a smart thing to do. As much as I really want to, because it's pretty amazing here at this elevation. But I just don't think it's smart.
Lobell Lake, originally created as an irrigation reservoir by ranchers who diverted Deep Creek, historically hosted a rainbow and brown trout fishery, but later became home to a successful, self-reproducing population of Arctic grayling, a species that can withstand the lake's low dissolved oxygen levels during winter icing.
I go up a little further up the trail. There's another group of trees. Kind of curious if there's a campsite in there. And then after that, I'm probably going to turn around and start heading down and out of here, because I got a ways to go before I end up down where I think I want to be tonight. So anyway, thanks for coming along. I hope you're enjoying this as much as I am. So I stumbled onto this massive campsite in the pines, perfectly flat, great view, Mount Patterson behind us. Helicopter still going back and forth, picking up small amounts of water. And I took the time to hook up the Starlink real fast and gain some more mapping. And it looks like instead of doing an out and back, I can continue down this road a ways, and it'll eventually drop me out over off like the 338 just above Bridgeport, Walker Lake area. We'll see if we can get through. If we get through that way, then great, we'll pop out over there and we'll go find camp up in the mountains over there. If not, we'll end up coming back and working our way out of here. But either way, the adventure continues. It's been an absolutely amazing day, so much more than I ever thought. I thought this was going to be a quick pass down a little mountain dirt road. Here he comes again. Yeah, I thought this was just going to be a really quick out and back, and it turned into something way more.
Having left the structure and the protection of the aspens behind, things grew steep and ever more exposed. We climbed well above the trees and found ourselves riding a ridge with views stretching out in every direction. The terrain grew rockier, the trail more unforgiving, and the wind carried with it the edge of the elements. Yet the reward was undeniable. Sweeping vistas that reached far and beyond, mountains and valleys layered in every shade of blue and gray, even with the faint haze of smoke softening the horizon. Eventually, the road turned downward. Slowly and carefully, we descended from the ridge, re-entering the familiar flora that had accompanied much of this journey. Working our way down the valley, the land guided us to a gate, a quick reminder that civilization was not too far away, and that it was time to begin looking for the next place for us to call home. If it's open, leave it open. If it's closed, make sure you close it. Soon, the trees begin to close in once more. Their shade welcome after the exposed heights, and there, tucked against the valley floor, we found it. A beautiful creek, flowing steady and clear. The perfect place to settle in and let this chapter of the journey begin to come to rest. So, might have found camp. It's not far off the dirt road, but it's pretty nice. Got the truck basically leveled. And we got a creek that runs right along here. Thinking this might be a good deal. I mean, it doesn't suck. 'Cause we're right around 7,000 feet. So we're about 3,000 feet lower than we were last night. Oh man, this is beautiful. And nobody's here. I don't know. We're gonna think about it. I'll get back to you. Here we go again. Just like that, we got home. And it's beautiful, man. I love the sound of this creek. What a day, right? It's like we started off way over there, planning on a little out and back. Ended up crossing a huge amount of space. Crazy mountaintops, interesting ridges, crazy rocks. All to find ourselves in this nice little meadow next to this beautiful stream. I'm gonna finish setting up, make some carne asada tacos, and call it a night. I'm pretty tired. It's been a long day. Sky's been pretty amazing this evening. Back by the sound of the babbling stream. Got everything charging, almost done charging actually, which is good. Had some dinner, fed my soul all day long in just amazing mountains.
super fortunate, I think, to be able to have found this and connected where I was to where I am. Blows my mind. I love it when that stuff kind of happens, and when you're able to like connect points without a whole lot of planning. You know, it just works out. But anyway, I hope you've enjoyed it as much as I have. If you've enjoyed it, please hit the subscribe button and the little notification thingy so that you'll know when we continue to post. The goal is to post weekly, but we all know things happen. This isn't my primary job. I do this. This is kind of a passion project, actually, for me. But yeah, if you like, subscribe, all that good stuff helps us out. And I'll see you guys in the morning.